Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Waldron, CEO GLDA, Dr. Radnat, Travis, GRDB, MMA, NDIA, the staff of the Ministry of Agriculture, farmers from Port, Strat Campbell, Mahaicony Branch Road, and neighboring communities. A pleasant good afternoon to you, and let me welcome you to this important engagement with the Honorable Minister. Only about a week ago, Minister was in the Haidam Danzig area to engage farmers there on several issues. And here in Mahaicony, I know that a group of farmers would have engaged Minister, and he has decided to come and meet you in your community so as to address those issues. Over the past years, Minister has been working closely with the farmers of Region 5, and we have seen many developments and improvements came out of those engagements. And those developments would have ranged from improved drainage and irrigation in the region, from improved farm-to-market access and technical services to farmers throughout Region Number 5. And whilst we are having that great support from the Ministry of Agriculture, also from the regional level, we would have been engaging farmers and people across the region to add to what is happening to improve the general conditions within Region 5. And only recently, a contract was awarded from the Regional Democratic Council for the extension of the Mahaicony Branch Road from Green Mill going further in. Over the years, many farmers would have reached out to us sharing the difficulties that they experience when transporting their produce in that area. And so that's a starting point for the continuation of the road in Mahaicony area. Apart from that, there are several projects which we would have done across Region 5, including the construction of 3 new health centers. Only 3 weeks ago, the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, was in the Hoop area to commission that health center there. The second health center is being constructed right in the Mahaicony community in the village of East St. Jacob. And then the third one in the Abari River. These areas, we all know the difficulties that our people faced when they when they have to seek medical services. And now we are bringing those right there in their community. Apart from that, in our current budget, we are rehabilitating over 25 schools across the region. If you check in the newspaper, presently there is ads for these projects, and also a number of health centers we have improved in the region, and will continue along that path. Presently, we are in the preparation for the 2025 budget proposals, and we have already worked out a schedule whereby we will visit each NDC, each riverine communities, to engage with you, the residents, so you can tell us what your needs are. And next week, we will be coming right here in this area to engage the Hamlet Chance NDC and also the Mahaicony River community. So this is an open process whereby the information comes directly from you, the people. So comrades, those are some of the things I want to share with you this afternoon.
Good afternoon. So, you are very quiet this afternoon. First of all, I am very happy to be here because when I went at the back there, I promised some of these comrades from this area port and so that I will be back. But there were a number of other issues, and then Marcia normally make contact with me, and I promised her last week that I will be coming next week because as I am speaking now, we have the National Two-Show Conference, and it will end this afternoon. But I decided that I will come here this afternoon to meet with you all to hear some of the concern. I think first of all, you don't have many issues, and we can deal with the issues that were raised just now, generally. But I want to say that agriculture for us, our government, is very important. We recognize the importance of agriculture. That is why you will see over the last 4 years, we have increased budgetary allocation every single year. We have moved the agriculture budget from $11.5 billion to $97.6 billion this year. Why? Because we recognize that this sector, agriculture, is important for food security. We have seen what has happened during the pandemic when we had the COVID pandemic. There was a scarcity of food in the country. Although countries that are economically sound were unable, financially stable, were unable to procure food for their population because of the downturn in production. We in Guyana, we want to increase production in the traditional areas. Crops that we used to grow, or since our foreparents came to Guyana, crops that they have started to grow here. We are going and we are having increased production in those areas. But at the same time, we want to produce more things that we are importing into the country. We want to reduce the importation bill. We want to produce those things. So you will see that although we have seen an increase in things like rice production over the last 4 years, in 2022 we produced 610,000 tons of rice. Last year we produced 653,000 tons. This year the target is 710,000 tons. We have already produced 362,000 tons for the first crop of this year. And at the end, and this second crop now, we have seen some area in the country start to harvest already. And the yield is good. We have moved yield from 5.6 tons per hectare to now 6.9, 6.7, 6.9 tons per hectare. So that is why you're seeing that the rice production have increased tremendously. And as a government, we recognize that we will be working with every single sector, every single group in this country. That is why I am here this afternoon. I know the comrades who spoke from Eastern Jacob and other areas in the Mahaicony. I have been meeting with them also regularly. But this area here, Port, Strat Campbell, and also, we have to develop some of the canals, rehabilitate some of the canals, and that is why we are here this afternoon. But I want to give you a perspective what we are doing in the agriculture sector. Because when I became Minister of Agriculture, I want to be very, very frank. Guyana, we have seen a de-emphasis in the agriculture sector. The budget for agriculture had reduced from 18.5 billion to 13.5 billion. Now we have increased it. We are seeing more activity in agriculture. We as a government, we are not saying that what you are doing are private business. We are not saying that rice growing is private business, or cash crop is private business, or livestock rearing is private business. We are working with every single section of the population. That is why you will find when we come to meetings like these, rather than we come here, the regional chairman would have just told you about it. Rather than I come here and make a speech and leave, I come and I listen to you first so that we can deal with the issues that you are raising, so that we can have that kind of interaction. Because we believe that when we come out to these community meetings, that we work with the community and we resolve their issues. Because it will be useless for us to come here, make a good speech, talk all the good things under the sun, leave here and go, and when we leave, you don't got nothing done. So when I leave here this afternoon, I will ensure that officials from the Ministry of Agriculture work along with you. And this will not be a one-off situation. This will be a continuous engagement with the residents so that we can continue to work together. That's the way we can improve the sector, the agriculture sector. Because right now, what we are doing in Guyana, what we are doing, it's been replicated across the Caribbean. Today, the entire Caribbean is looking to Guyana for that leadership. For the last 4 years, we have seen what countries in the Caribbean, places like Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, the Eastern Caribbean country, they have recognized the important role that we are playing as a country. So the entire CARICOM now is looking towards Guyana for that leadership. And not only for traditional area where we used to do long before, like rice and cash crop alone. We are going to new areas. We have started the production of corn and soya. And as farmers, you have to have a broad vision. Sometimes we tend to, when we be farmers, we plant a few crop, very small amount, and we leave it there. And just we reap it, we take it to the market. But we have to now consolidate and build our holdings. That is why the government is working with every single group in this country. I went to Victoria and Buxton the other day, and we have a engagement there now, permanent engagement with the farmers in those areas. The other day, the chairman said we went to Danzig. We're working with the farmers there because you remember the flood, when the sea defense break. And up to date, the farmers are unable to go back to the land because the land still have salt in it. So we are working with them to re-engage them to go back to the land to start back cultivation in rice production. NARI has been working with a number of farmers across the country. Now we are producing a lot of fruits and vegetables. We want to do it in large scale. That is why we are investing now in a food hub. As I am speaking now, we have the design, it's been finalized for the food hub on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway. So we will have to continue to increase production. And for us to increase production, the government will continue to make that increased budgetary allocation. For example, desilting of the canals, upgrading the dams, heightening embankment, help farmers with input. And I'm happy to say, over the last 4 years, you all remember in 2021, right here I walked this place, when we had the most devastating flood in the history of this country, worse than the 2005 flood. The entire country was underwater. All the 10 regions was underwater. And we had to find money to give back the farmers to go back to the land, because we recognize that for the farmers to produce, they will have to have funds to go back to the land. So those are the kind of vision that we look at as a government we have. So when farmers are saying that they need help, we will continue to give help, because we have been giving help over the last 4 years, and since before 2015, when we came out of government, we have been giving help to farmers in this country. Because as a party and a government, we recognize that agriculture, I am not being prejudiced here as Minister of Agriculture, but agriculture is the most important sector for us. We can have all the natural resources in the world, all the oil and gas, all the gold and timber, all the bauxite, you name it. But we can't eat the money. We have to produce. But we can use those funds to ensure that we develop sector like the agriculture sector, make it more resilient, make it more competitive, increase production, improve the infrastructure. Those are things that we are talking about. We have recently, last week I commissioned a new dehydrating facility at the Hope Coconut Estate. What that means, dehydrating. A lot of wastage we are having. For example, you as vendors, when you go to the market and you get something like fruits, and the fruits not sell and they start to turn, you throw it away. Now when we have things like that, that dehydrating facility that we have there, the fruits that you think when it got overripe and you want to throw it away, you take it there. And the facility, you dehydrate it, dry it, and we can export that to various parts of the Caribbean. Those are the value added that we are talking about. Those are the value added that we are talking about. There are a number of hundreds, if not thousands of farmers, rice farmers, who would have received a lot of help. Seed paddy, fertilizer for the last 2 years. For the last 2 years we have been given fertilizer because we recognize that because of the problems we have had over the last 3 years, the costs, the input costs have increased tremendously. That is why 2 years in a row, we give fertilizers to farmers. Last year we gave fertilizers to farmers, the year before last, right? 2022, 2023. And some farmers still will receive fertilizer. Right? So the point is that we as a government, we are responsive to the needs of the farmers and the stakeholders in this country. We must have a broad vision. We must have a broad vision. And when farmers talk about personal work, I agree, yes, we will help farmers because we know that it costs sometimes a lot to impolder your field, to desilt canal around your areas and so. But that doesn't mean when I as minister made a commitment that we'll do a man canal or do some canal in the area, private canal, that we will leave the public work. First and foremost, yeah. Good, yeah. First and foremost, for me, the most important thing is the community work. So if a canal will give service to 25 farmers, and another canal will give service to 2 farmers, I will go and desilt the 25 one, the one that gives the service to the 25 farmers. So this afternoon, here, I want, before I leave this meeting here this afternoon, what we'll do, we'll work out a program. We'll work out a program for this area here to work along to see the most important canal. We'll do all the canals, but it can't do one time. So what we'll do, I'll make commitment this afternoon that I will ask NDIA to have a machine to work in this area to start to desilt the most important canal. Like for example, the comrade raised about water for his rice field. We'll work like those things. Those are the first priorities for us. And then we'll do a program. You all agree with that? That we will work with a program? And you will help us develop the program. We will not dictate. So you tell us how many canals are needed to be done. We'll list it in order of priority. And we will start do the work within 2 weeks from now. But those important canals that needed to be done, I will ask the head of NDIA to work with the farmers immediately within days to desilt the canal so that your rice field can get water. I don't want anybody to lose their rice. That will be, so we have to have a program. Now, as I have here in my hand a program that was developed by the this is the left bank of the Mahaicony River port to land of loss, right? This area. So I have this program here. There are a number of person names that are listed here. 55 names that are listed. So you got the contact number, address, names, location of work, nature of work, length, the rate. So you get desilt, drain, and heightening dam. So I will give this list to NDIA. They will work along with the MMA, and these names that are listed here, I don't know if these are internal canals or internal drains. How many persons will benefit from these canal drain here? Individual. So first of all, we will work with the community to identify a list of canals that will benefit the community. Then we will work along with this list here, and this will be an ongoing process where I will ask NDA to work along with MMA to give them guidance, and we will look to see how we can help individual farmers. You all agree with me? So these, I don't know how you operate here, desilt, drain, and heightening dam. This was in the field, this in the rice field. So private. So how long one of these drains go take to desilt? 300 rods. 1 week. So it's a 55 weeks. $153 million is the cost. 123 million dollars. So we'll have to do this over time. So all those names that listed here, I will ask Lionel and to work along with Ramjit. And I want a committee from the area, this area. I want a 4 or 5 person. Now those persons who suffer losses, as the mistress said when she spoke, I will ask GRDB to work along with those persons to see how we can help them. Now the people them from the Eastern Jacob area, I will tell you exactly what we'll do. Now, we have to see how much or how many areas needed for canals to be done and in poldering. So I'll ask NDIA again to do a survey in the area and get a report. Now those individual farmers who would have had their area destroyed by cattle, as the comrade raised, I will ask Dr. Waldron to work along with those persons. And what we'll do, I don't know how many person holdings were destroyed by cattle. Let me see. Who keep cattle? No. We can't say raise wildly now, this boy, right there. He raised an issue. So and I got to verify your claim, right, comrade? So who more have an issue like him? You too, comrade? How many? So 1, 2, and you 3. So 3 person. 4. So the 4 person, you all come on one side. I want to see you all one side. You all come out this side. Right? Good. So Doc, work along with, talk to them. So what we'll do, I will ask Comrade Lionel to see if we could get a private machine, hire the machine and do the work, rather than to take our machine. Right? So the 4 work, we'll complete those 4 works. Now for the people them in Strat Campbell and Port, I want you all to list the canals that needed to be done in this area, and we'll start do it within a week. Right? So I need you all to do that, work along with Comrade Lionel and Comrade Ramjit, and get that list for me. Within a week, we'll send in an NDIA machine to do that work. Those persons who would have suffered losses, like the mistress, what she said, I will ask Mr. Koldip and his team to work along and see, and they will bring a report, and I will see how we can help. You all agree with that? That's the way we will address the issue, right? Any other concern you all have? Cash crop farmers, come. We got Nari here now. We can give cash crop farmers immediately all the planting material free of cost. We can help you with some agrochemical, and we can help you with the technical advice, what you want to plant. So how many cash crop farmers we have here? Let me see. Raise your hand. So I want Nari now to get them work along with you all in a group. So we'll finish everything here this afternoon. So when we finish here this afternoon, we have put system in place to start the work. Right? So all the cash crop farmers, Comrade Jagnarine, will work along with you all. The comrades them from the canal, you got Lionel and Ramjet, and the rice farmers who had issue. We'll ask Kuldip with his team to work along with you all. Any livestock problem you have, we have the GLA, we got Dr. Walron. He will work along with his team if you need livestock help. So we get all the areas. And I will give you all like about 15 minutes. Break yourself up into group, work along, and after this 15 minutes, we'll reassemble and we'll decide on a program. You all agree with me? So let's break ourselves up. Now the most burning issue in that group, 4 canal needed to be done urgently. And that 4 canal will start it next week. Right? Today is Friday. By mid next week, you'll get a machine will come to start those canals. So both Lionel and Ramjit will liaison with you, especially MMA. Right? So we'll start that. The other issue, you have 30 cash crop farmers who need seedlings, sucker, shade material, fertilizer, and pesticide. Those are the cash crop farmers, 30 of those farmers. Nari, Jagnarine will ensure that done during the course of next week. So all those 30 cash crop farmers will receive those inputs. Then we have 4 persons who have livestock met with Dr. Waldron just now, and they need the internal dams to be rebuilt. So that will done, but it can't done immediately. We'll do that. That will be in our ongoing program. And you have 4 persons who are interested in doing aquaculture. So we will start that work within a month, and we will supply the fingerling, that is the fish, and give you all some feed so that you can start the aquaculture here. Tambaki or tilapia. Right? Those 4 persons. And then those persons who didn't sow last crop, rice farmers, GRDB will do an assessment and we'll work along with you to see how we can help you for the new crop. Right? With inputs. So those are the issues that was raised. Now, in this area here, I will ask the livestock and region and the local bodies to do a report, do a survey, and every household will give 25 black giant board so that you can start poultry production in that area, right? Everybody will get. So that will commence immediately. Dr. Waldron will head that program. But you have to work along with the local bodies to get first of all, get the list. You know, when I give out things, one house I get 10 families. So I am now giving 25 black giant board to each household. So you get 10 families, you live in one household and still get 25 black giant board. 25, right? 20. So that will commence immediately. Any other issue? Those comrades who raised the personal issue, as I said already, the impoundering and so will do their work. NDI will address those matters and will impolder those areas that you all talk about, places like Eastern Jacob and other areas. And those comrades whose lands were destroyed when they had to keep the animal when we had the flood. Right? So we'll start that. That program will develop by NDI and MMA too, and we'll work along with the entire community. What we'll do, the same set of persons who would have met just now will continue the engagement and we'll assess the work, how it's been done, so that we can look at the progress. This list here, what we have 53 persons for $123 million, this will be ongoing works. Ongoing works, and we'll work along. But first of all, as I said, the community work takes priority, right? So we'll start at that. Any other issue? If not, thank you all very much, and let us continue to work and form that partnership. Thanks.